Whoa, everybody!
It's just absurd.
Rewritten episode 17, motherfuckers. Probably shouldn't be swearing starting off.
17 motherfucking weeks.
17 weeks here, baby. 17 of the 83. Not accurate, but right.
Absolutely not.
But anyways, I'm Dominic DeAngelo of WrestleZone.com. And with me, it is the powers that be. Some may call him creative control. It is Marcus, my degenerate brother, DeAngelo. Marcus,
I'll tell you, the powers that be are very Russo era. It's brutal.
Yeah, well, you're brutal, so I figure it's probably a good comparison.
Oh, Benjamin Jones throwing those hands up. He's like, "Fuck you, 2 Raws on." I'm not sure if that's the vibe, but if it is, it's hilarious. Yeah.
Why are you doing this?
So what the fuck, man? During Raw,
we're not talking Raw. Listen, Marcus, as much of a degenerate as he is, I think he could book a better show than what's going on Monday nights on USA Network every night at 8 p.m.
And you know why is because there's a bunch of 20-year-old soap opera writers writing Raw right now. So it's problematic.
Well, as the thing is, it's not really the writer's fault. It's Vince
McMahon. Shouldn't have hired those writers.
Well, that's Vince McMahon's decision, isn't it, Marcus?
Right. Dominic, I'm agreeing with you. Stop being confrontational.
No, I'm very confrontational right now. Very confrontational. And I'm sure we'll get a lot of confrontation on this week's episode of WCW Nitro.
And that's just saying the same thing. She's like, hey, fucking Raw's on. What are you guys doing?
What the hell's up with this shit? What the hell's up with? We do got a lot of people here in the room, it appears. So thanks for joining us. Maybe they're realizing, like, we're not talking about Raw, but we're fucking fantasy booking like a bunch of, like, a-holes. So
hey, so by the way, we ordinarily do this on Sunday. We were unable to do it yesterday because Dominic was in Philadelphia covering the Battle Riot for Major League Wrestling.
Yes, yeah. MLW Battle Riot. What a show it was in Philadelphia. First show back and at the historic ECW arena. Wow. They put on quite the card. A lot of good surprises going on. A lot of good appearances and great matches. Wait till you see them come out. But yeah, I was there on hand for MLW Battle Riot. It was a lot of fun. So
yeah, that's really cool. And but you can step away from WWE unless you're a WWE fan. Obviously, go watch whatever you want. But away from WWE, there's so much great wrestling content right now. Like you've got MLW, you've got AEW, you have NWA, and you have there's one more that's escaping me.
Wait,
ROH. There's a lot of really great wrestling out
best
there.
in the world.
Right. There's alternatives to Impact. There's a lot of alternatives to WWE. It's a really fun time to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah, lots of options and a lot of fluidity in between promotions too. So real good times. It wasn't so much back in this time. The fluidity was a little stilted because the competition was thick and it was Glenn Ross in the wrestling business. I mean, it's always going to be like that, but the lines of the sand were drawn in between folks back then.
What the hell are you talking about? You're talking about 1998?
Yeah, dipshit, about this. What the fuck is about?
Dominic, do you have the results pulled up?
No, I don't. What is the date?
You are the fucking worst. It is March 23rd, 1998.
March 23rd, 1998. Marcus, give him a little bit of a housekeeping stuff.
Yeah, well, in a nutshell, let me come up with some of the storylines. So Bret Hart was recently hit by Eddie Guerrero, allegedly, in a car. Eddie Guerrero certainly seems happy about it because he has a match scheduled against Bret Hart, singles match, for Spring Stampede, which is coming up. And Davey Boy Smith took umbrance with it, and so now he has challenged Eddie Guerrero to a singles match tonight here on Monday Nitro. The Gold Standard is vying for the tag team title, for the opportunity to challenge for the tag team title, but the Wolfpack, the Outsiders, they want the shot at the tag team titles, and they're saying, we deserve it. Plenty more. Dominic, do you have the results pulled up?
I do have the results. Real quick, Nesha does ask, hey, why is MLW not on Vice at the moment? Well, it's because they need new episodes, and this was going to be this weekend was a recording of a lot of those episodes. So they'll be back on Vice soon enough. What they've been doing on YouTube is running old episodes of MLW Underground, which is from like 2002, 2003. And those are really fun to watch, especially if you're an ECW fan. But a lot of wrestlers that are still wrestling today are on that program. Like, so Christopher Daniels makes appearance, TJP's on there. Davey Boy Smith Jr. wrestles on there. I can go on and on. Matt Cross, who was just in Philadelphia for that show, was on that card too. I got to talk to him a little bit about that.
Hey, we got a couple other things I want to mention also.
Yes.
Benjamin saying Chelsea Green and ROH, couldn't be happier. Love Chelsea Green. Got to know her basically because I'm a big fan of the Major Wrestling Figure podcast and Matt Cardona and Brian Myers. So really cool. Really happy for her. Tom is saying rest in peace, Mr. Wonderful. Paul Orndorff passed away today. For those of you who don't know, really sad. A huge icon in the business, and he was in WCW at this time.
Oh, that's true, wasn't he?
He was an agent. He also helped at the power plant. Actually, he wound up having a match, I think, around 1999, 2000.
Really?
Yep. He came back and had a match. He did wind up getting injured.
Huh. I'm going to have to look that up. I did not know that. Okay. Yeah, R.I.P. Mr. Wonderful. He was great. What a heel. What a heel. What a look, man. What a look, too. It's just like he had it all going for him. And, like, you know, he only elevated Hogan's Hulkamania run. Like,
he was a major part of Hogan's Hulkamania run.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And a viable heel for Hogan to come up against. It's this big muscly guy like Paul Orndorff, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, this guy could actually put Hogan in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And the guy, it's just like, it's a shame, like, he had a situation with his arm and things did not go. Because
didn't really negatively impact his career or his wrestling ability, though. Gotta say, he was still pretty good, even though he had that degeneration from I think it was nerve damage in his arm.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
He was still pretty darn good. Hey, Tom, rather Randy Massengill, he's saying, "Hi guys, how are y'all? I'm a Goldberg fan. Well, you're gonna get some Goldberg here tonight. That's another thing that's going on with the storyline. If you're not caught up, Goldberg is now the #1 contender for NWO member Brian Clark's U.S. Championship." And but Eric Bischoff is throwing up a damn firewall, and he's like, "You can get at him at Spring Stampede, but first tonight you're fighting Brian Adams."
Mm-hmm. And hey, Randy, we're big Goldberg fans too.
Oh, absolutely.
We grew up. I think was he our first wrestler we met, or did we meet Gilbert first?
He was. Goldberg was first, and here's something that's interesting: is I believe he had just won the U.S. title when you and I met him. Well, so it was between the U.S. title and the world title.
It was between, and I think the next night or that weekend, whatever it was, he was doing Great American Bash for his 100th match, like I think his quote unquote 100th win, I think, and it was going to be against Conan the next week.
Yeah, he was just starting to heat up, and Dominic and I happened to meet him. He came really close to our hometown. And we got to meet him, and then next thing you know, it's like this guy that we just shook hands with is on top of the wrestling world. It was incredible.
And then Marcus and I got to meet him back in April, right before I started writing for WrestleZone. At
April 2018.
Yep, at WrestleCon, and I showed him the picture of me as a kid with him, and he was like, "Jesus Christ!"
He was like, "Oh, I'm old." Shark Week is on, but hey, you guys are here for WCW Rewritten.
Swim with the Sharks in WCW tonight, Ben.
Press pause on Shark Week, and I promise that we're not going to have the Shark here, the former Earthquake. He gone.
John
Tenta. Rest in peace.
Boy, was he wrestling though around this time? I'm sure he was starting somewhere.
Who?
The Shark Boy?
Yeah, I'm sure he was out in the Indies.
Yeah.
James, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's ready. Randy's ready to check it out, man. He's about to start wrestling in San Antonio.
Oh, how about that?
And HBK is going to be his trainer.
Oh, I like
Randy.
that.
Randy, congrats, man. That's cool.
San Antonio, that's a great city for wrestling. They got Mission Pro down there. Thunder Rosa's Mission Pro. Can't beat that.
Hey, let's get this thing moving, Dom. Do you have those results?
In here. Yeah, so the results. Marcus, first off, obviously this occurred on March 23rd. 1998, as you previously stated. What city did this occur in, Marcus?
In Tuscaloosa.
Nope, no. It was Cornette Country, Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. At Freedom Hall. Freedom Hall, Louisville.
I'm sure Corny would have rather been there than up in Connecticut at this point.
Man, things weren't going his way. Let's just say that. Or the Midnight Express's way, the new Midnight Express. Anyways, so the following matches occurred. Ultimo Dragon defeated Chavo Guerrero Jr., who was with Eddie Guerrero, in 2 minutes and 9 seconds. What a short match. Scott Steiner with Buff Bagwell defeated Wayne Bloom in 3 minutes and 4 seconds. Another short match. Another short match following up with that one. Psychosis defeated Lodi in 2 minutes and 55 seconds. WCW World Heavyweight title match occurred in the middle of the card as Sting defeated DDP. Does that sound right, Marcus? In 11 minutes?
Yes.
Lex Luger defeated Rick Fuller in 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Eddie Guerrero with Chavo Guerrero defeated Kaz Hayashi in 5 minutes and 5 seconds. Marcus's boy Prince Ikea, defeated Conan in 5 minutes and 42 seconds. What the
Holy shit.
Jeez Louise. WCW Cruiserweight Championship was Chris Jericho successfully defended against our boy Lenny Lane. 2-on-1 handicap match. The Giant defeated Hollywood Hogan and Kevin Nash with Eric Bischoff in 6 minutes and 22 seconds. Then the World Television title match occurred as Booker T versus Chris Benoit ended in a time limit draw in 7 minutes and 35 seconds. Why was it 7 minutes and 35 seconds? Why was that the draw time limit? British Bulldog defeated Kurt Hennig with Rick Rude by DQ in 5 minutes and 38 seconds. Bill Goldberg defeated the Renegade. The gig is up for him in 40 seconds. Randy Savage with Miss Elizabeth in the main event fought Roddy Piper, which ended in no contest in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So that was your card.
They shoehorned a fuckload of matches in there. It's ridiculous.
Yes, they did.
James is saying Mr. Wonderful, arguably the best physique of any wrestler in the 80s next to Rick Rude. Yeah, I mean, Rick Rude, you got to go Lex Luger. He was active in the 80s. Obviously, the Ultimate Warrior. But, I mean, Mr. Wonderful was right up there, man. Unbelievable physique.
Yes, and, like, you look at it, too. Like, yeah, he was one of the real good body guys back then out of everybody. Like, you know, you peel him and put him in today. Damn, what a top star right there, you know.
He looked like even in his older years, he looked like he could still stretch you.
Yeah.
So. All right, so that was what actually happened on WCW, but now we've rebooked it, so you guys are gonna hear a very different version here.
Yes, Marcus. So how did you rewrite this episode of WCW Rewritten?
All right, here we go, guys. Nitro 3/23/98. We open Nitro with rough-looking video camera footage that appears to be on a live feed. When we focus in, we find that we are in a dark room with one bare light bulb lit and swinging gently back and forth. From off-screen, a chair is shoved into view. Strapped to that chair with his mouth taped shut is none other than Eric Bischoff. Bischoff appears to be completely panicked and struggling to free himself. From off-screen comes a man in a black trench coat. When he crouches down behind Bischoff, we realize that it's the icon, Sting. Sting pulls out a bat and holds it in front of Bischoff's throat from behind, not choking him, but just keeping him in place as he gives a promo. Hollywood Hogan, you and the people you paid to be your friends took something from me. So now I've taken something from you. I want you all to listen closely because I'm only going to say this once. This is far from over. If you think that you and that giant psycho can come into my company and take whatever you want, I'm going to show you just how wrong you are. I'll see you both soon, very soon. With that, Sting reaches above his head and puts the light out as Bischoff tries to scream.
My goodness.
All right. So
what you did there, that psycho.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Referring to Sid. Sid made a debut recently in this version.
And he's in the NWO.
Mm-hmm. After we complete the intro, we find ourselves here live on TNT. Shivani, Tenay, and Zabisco hype us up about the night, and they speculate on Sting's whereabouts and intentions. Zabisco tells us that he only knows one thing, and that's that he wouldn't want to be Bischoff, Hogan, or Sid right now. We open the program with Saturn making his way down to the ring as Raven's theme hits. Saturn was an unbelievable performer, was he not, Tom?
Oh yeah, he was really good.
Even as a kid, I recognize the value in him where I'm like, man, this guy looks like $1 million, awesome physique, and he is so damn good in the ring.
I liked it too when he just wrestled in the jean shorts and the hoodie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you didn't like that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot that he did that.
Yeah.
Randy was saying that he was named after Randy Savage. His mom was in love with the Macho Man.
How about that? Dig it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nesha pointing out Sting and Tony still active on TNT in 2021.
How about that? Yes.
Who would have guessed it?
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that fits in that bill. Conan.
Conan, yeah, sure. Tully.
Yep. Tully, yes. Very true. Even though, yes, that's true.
Jake was working the indies too.
Mhm.
All right, so the crowd lights up when none other than the TV champ Booker T's music hits. Booker makes his way to the ring with a determined look on his face ahead of this bout. I'm sure he is raising the roof.
Mhm.
I'm giving these 20 minutes, Dom. It's going to be a banger of a match between these two to open the show. Both guys are awesome beasts in the ring, and definitely want to focus on, I want to focus this version of WCW on quality matches from talent who are really able to perform the spectacle type matches and have like a nice mix between that and those guys who are more like spectacles, you know, those guys that are just like older, but like draw a crowd because of who they are, you know?
Yeah.
Saturn manages to lock Booker T in the rings of Saturn near the end of the match, and it's looking like it might be over, but Booker gets a rope break miraculously. When Saturn goes to get back on him, Booker's going to start his comeback and start going off on Saturn. Booker's going to hit him with the axe kick and throw his arms up in the air, indicating that it might be time for the Harlem Hangover. But damn it, Dominic, damn it. Raven, Canyon, Riggs, and Kidman are all on him, and the ref has to ring the bell for a disqualification. The group starts to beat on Booker T, but the crowd pops when Booker starts to fend them off. DDP, Mongo, and Juventud Guerrero are there to give him a hand, and the flock gets a case of the liver tail, as JR likes to put it, and they bail out. Booker T asks Penzer for the mic, and he gets one.
Wait, now, Marcus, is it liver tail or limber tail?
I think it's liver.
I want to say it's limber.
Can anybody else weigh in on that?
Wait, who gets on the mic? Raven?
No, Booker T's about to. Oh, hang on, Dom. Jason Bristow is saying it would be awesome if I could rewrite 2001 WCW Invasion WWE. I think so too, because there were a lot of missed opportunities there for sure. We were kind of screwed by talent like Kevin Nash and Scott Hall and Scott Steiner, who were like, yeah, I think I'll just sit home and collect a check for like 2 years or whatever it was.
So I could go back to work? Or...
Oh, let me get this straight. Vince is going to give me less money to come to work, or I can sit home and get $2 million a year. I think I'll just hang out. All right. Booker T's on the mic. I'm getting damn sick and tired of this BS, sucker. Every week it's the same thing from you bunch of misfits, and I'm ready to put a stop to it for good. I'm sick of taking on your lackeys and goons, Raven. You want this belt? You better come and get it. How about at Spring Stampede, you step into the ring with this OG from 110th Street?
Sucker. Now, I chose to voice Raven. Is that all right?
Yeah, of course. Okay. Nesha saying, quote the Raven, nevermore. Lumber doesn't run, Dominic. Nate, calling you out. I think you're saying Limbertail, right?
I said Limbertail. Now it says, what is Limbertail in dogs, though? If you notice your dog has a limp tail and is not wagging happily, you walk through the door, she may have a condition known as Limbertail. I am a journalist. So
wait, you actually used the internets to figure that one out?
Yes, I did.
Hey, fair enough.
Let's see here. I gotta pull up my notes. My notes. Okay. So Raven's talking now, right?
Yeah, Raven.
Okay. Give the last quote just so we're making it flow.
How about at Spring Stampede, you step into the ring with this OG from 110th Street. Raven has a mic of his own.
You think your belt means anything to me? All I care about is putting an end to you and those poisonous cretins by your side. I'll accept your challenge, and when I beat you, I'll carry the belt as a mockery in protest of the new conventions of our industry. Quote the Raven, nevermore. Raven
always had this like really high vocabulary, so I was like, I need to capture Raven's voice here.
Remember when he took Ben Stein's money?
Yes. Yeah, Raven was awesome, man. And I think a certifiable genius in real life.
I think so, yeah.
I ain't done yet, Booker T chimes back in. I want to enter your world and beat you at your game. I want you in a Ravens rules match. Raven grins evilly and Booker, and Shivani tells us that means the challenge is accepted. Mongo grabs the mic now from Booker. Dom, be Mongo.
I'll be Mongo. Now for you, Cannon. You didn't think I forgot about you, did you? Every time I look in the mirror, I get a reminder of what you did to me. But guess what? I'm starting to like it. All the hate that's built up inside of me is starting to feel good. Because every time I feel like I'm about to bubble over with rage, I think about what I'm going to do to you. Are you going to be man enough to come alone to Spring Stampede and face me like a man?
Canyon has his trademark evil grin on his face and is compulsively flicking his Zippo open and closed. He reaches over and grabs Raven's mic. Fine, Mongo, I'll take you on. But I want a stipulation. If you, a big, tough jock like all the rest, can't beat a lowly, trashy punk like me, I want you gone. I want you out of WCW. I want a loser leaves town match. The crowd pops and Mongo gets a grin of his own.
Hey, I'll gladly take that challenge. I'm going to wipe the mat with your face and wipe you, put everybody's out of everybody's misery here in WCW.
I was actually a typo. It's supposed to be wipe you out of everybody's memory here in WCW.
Memory. Blasted writers, Marcus.
Shivani puts over what we just heard and we head to a break. So, Dominic Spring Stampede. There's going to be a loser leaves town match. Somebody's leaving WCW.
I don't like that, Marcus, because I like both Canyon and Mongo here.
Mm-hmm. So, who's going to leave? How long will they be gone? Anyways. Shivani puts over what we heard. We head to a break. When we return, we have the rough live video feed again from Sting. Bischoff is still strapped to the chair, and Sting is slowly spinning the swivel chair around and around as he talks to the camera. I've got an idea, Hogan, and I think you're going to like it. I want to return your little friend here to you, and I want you and your new lapdog, Sid, to meet me in the ring at the end of the program. Only you and Sid. If you two can appear with just the two of you, maybe I'll return Bischoff in one piece. Surely even the two of you aren't too cowardly for that, right? See you soon. The feed cuts off and we're back to the live crowd. Shivani reiterates that we will see a live confrontation between Sting, Hogan, and Sid at the end of the show, and he tells fans not to go anywhere because it's sure to tear the roof off the place. Don't you dare switch over to Raw.
Don't you dare do it. Nesha says, do a double count out and nobody leaves. I like that.
I like that. Nate's saying, excuse me, Booker, man, if you get rid of Canyon, you will get a pie to the face. So
get more of the face. You should get Ultimate Dragon's red pocket next to the face.
Hey man, you gotta put out those teasers, right? You know, I'm raising the stakes here.
Raising the stakes.
Mm-hmm. Who should go? Dom, Mongo, Canyon?
No one.
All right. NWO theme hits, and out come the tag team champions, Brian Adams and Scott Steiner. Adams is in the lead, and he is set for singles action tonight against Goldberg. Shivani reminds us that Bischoff set this match to soften Goldberg up for his match against Brian Clark at Spring Stampede for the WCW US title. Goldberg's theme hits, and the crowd goes wild as the man comes through the curtain. Goldberg looked like an absolute savage in '98, did he not?
Oh my gosh.
The massive traps, the unbelievable physique. He was like 6'5" or 6'6" or something, just like this massive monster of a dude.
I know, like when I just tune in to old Nitros or see clips of Goldberg back then, I like start giggling because it's exciting.
Well, yeah, and it's like you look at that guy and you're like, I can't believe that's a human that existed. Like, look at him; he's just a monster of a dude.
You know, he's somebody that still makes me mark out at this point in time. There's a lot, there's very rare wrestlers that can do that anymore for me, but Goldberg still can do that to me. And
he's not a good wrestler. We'll admit it. He was kind of like a brute in the ring and sort of imposed his will on opponents, to kind of get himself over. But it worked, and you can see why WCW was like, yep, got to put the belt on this guy because he's awesome.
He's the man.
Yeah. So this match doesn't need a ton of time, Dom. I do love both wrestlers, but neither was a artist in the ring. Let's face it. So, Jonathan, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
We are going to go 5 minutes with Adams starting hot before getting beat on by Goldberg. Norton is going to grab Goldberg's ankle near the end and distract him for Adams to regain the advantage. But guess who comes out, Dom? It's Tully and Dean Malenko. And they're going to run out and go off on Norton. As Shivani reminds us that they're vying for those tag team championships.
That's right.
But Dominic, who comes out next? The Outsiders run out and attack Tully and Dean. Brawling in the aisle as Tony hypes the 10-man elimination tag match between the Wolfpack and the Gold Standard. Which is, again, for the #1 contendership at Spring Stampede.
Are there going to be gimmicks there? Like Stampede gimmicks?
Bunkhouse. There's going to be the stupid entrance set, if that's what you mean, but I don't think I'm going to have a bunkhouse match.
Okay.
I'm sorry. So they're brawling in the aisle. Adams notices the chaos on the outside, and it only takes 1 second. That 1 second for Adams to get distracted, for Goldberg to absolutely light him up with a spear.
I light him up.
He hoists Adams up for the jackhammer, and this match, Dominic, is done.
Ooh, it's over.
All right, so the Outsiders and Tully and Dean brawl to the back, and Adams is laid out in the ring while Norton is unconscious on the outside. Goldberg leaves, stepping over Norton, disrespectful, on the outside and raising his arms in victory as he turns back toward the fans. But Dominic, out comes Brian Clark, running from the curtain with the U.S. title in his hands, and he smashes Goldberg in the back of the head with it, and then stands over him, holding the belt in front of his face and shouting at him that he'll never take it from around Clark's waist. Goldberg is attempting to lift his head, but Clark gives him a stiff-looking stomp to the face to finish him off before walking to the back with the U.S. title held high above his head. Oh, man. Brian Clark getting one over on Goldberg a little bit there.
Oh, man. It's building it up.
And Brian Clark, again, another dude whose physique was just absurd. He had like that really, really long upper body and just like packed with muscle, giant guy. He's like 6'8", awesome look. Love Brian Clark.
Yeah, he was quite the presence.
All right, next we go backstage where a limo is pulled up outside the arena, and Hogan, Sid, and Scott Steiner emerge, all in a huge rush. Come on, Hogan says.
Oh, no, that's my line.
Oh, wait, you want to be Hogan? All
I'll
right,
be Hogan, dude. Come on, Hogan says. We need to look this entire building over for that skinny twerp Sting, dude.
I'll kill him, Sid is shouting. When I get my hands on him this time, he'll leave on a stretcher, I can guarantee it. Sid starts doing his crazy guy laugh as they're running into them. I'm just picturing Sid running into the building next to them. He's doing his psycho Sid laugh.
It's like the intro of Batman and from the 1966 with Adam West and Robin.
And he would I remember his eyes would like squeeze shut, and he would just have that insane like grin on his face. That's kind of what I'm picturing, where he's like doing that crazy guy laugh. He run into the building as we break for the end of hour one. Yeah, dude, Psycho Sid, the character, it was one of my favorite things that WWF did.
His Bone Cruncher is pretty nice. I liked his Bone Cruncher.
Awesome Bone Cruncher figure. Just awesome, unbelievable look. Great promo. Dude, Sid is money. I don't care what anybody says.
I was looking at pictures of him today, and I was like, he's pretty darn good at this. I still liked him.
Guess who gave him the Psycho Sid name?
Scott Hall?
Nope, Jim Cornette. Because when Vince McMahon said he was bringing Sid in, Cornette said, "You want to bring that guy in?" He stabbed Arn Anderson. He's a psycho. And apparently Vince was like, "Psycho, that's great.
Hey, that's good shit, pal."
So Cornette didn't want him there. He thought he was a psycho, which I guess if you're stabbing another dude, you might be.
If you're stabbing another dude, especially Arn, what the fuck, Sid?
Apparently, I don't know if you know the backstory, but apparently Sid was like at the bar or something after a show, and he was just like bragging on himself, saying how great he was. And Arn, in classic Arn fashion, stood up and basically told him to shut the fuck up.
I could imagine Arn just doing that too.
And apparently Sid showed up at his hotel later that night with scissors in hand.
What's the squeegee story? He attacked someone with a squeegee.
Brian Pillman.
He attacked Pillman with a squeegee.
Yes.
Brian Pillman.
Correct.
Pillman would have murdered him.
Senior dumb.
Yes, of course. Hey, congrats to Brian Pillman Jr., by the way.
He absolutely got signed to AEW. Dominic Nesha wants you to do an impression of her favorite wrestler right now.
I wonder if it was is Hogan that? I don't know if I
I thought she wanted you to do an impression. She wants you to do her favorite wrestler, right?
I wonder if it was might be Hogan.
Nate thinks that Pillman attacked him. I don't know. All I know is that it ended with Sid grabbing a squeegee to attack him, and everybody was like, "Why a squeegee?"
That's piss poor thought process. He had half the brain that Brian did.
Anyways,
what do we got?
All right. When we return, Hogan, Steiner, and Sid have been joined by Brian Clark, and they are walking down the hallway, kicking open doors and searching rooms. Wait.
Hey, I'm Steiner, motherfucker.
Oh, you want to be Steiner? Oh, please, by all means.
Wait. Steiner says after they check a few. This is a huge building. If we're going to find them, we're going to have to split up.
Good, Hogan. Oh, wait, you want to be Hogan? Go ahead, be Hogan.
Good, Hogan says. That's a good idea, Scott. You check the east part of the building. Brian, get to the west.
I'll check the south part, says Sid.
No, brother. You come with me.
Sid shrugs and the men leave in separate directions. Schiavone calls Hogan a coward when we return to the arena and points out that he was too afraid to go searching for Sting alone.
Dusty shouldn't this be Bobby calling Hogan a coward?
No, Bobby's time is done. Oh, wait, no, Bobby's still out there.
Yeah. Right.
No, Schiavone was the babyface, Tom.
No. Larry Zbyszko started the show off, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
so now Bobby and Dusty are out there, but Schiavone was the babyface, so he's going to be calling him out.
But Bobby hates Hogan.
Does he? Because now Hogan's a heel, and Bobby's supposed to be a heel.
Yeah, but he always hated Hogan.
I don't know if he hates him as much anymore.
He hates him, Mark. He hates him.
Schiavone calls Hogan a coward, and when we return to the arena and point out that he was afraid to go searching for Sting alone. Dusty Rhodes points out that Steiner and Clark don't have any friends left in the building, with Norton and Adams both out of commission, and those two had better keep their heads on a swivel, baby.
You best watch out.
Chris Jericho's team hits, and the Ayatollah of Rock and Rolla comes out wearing a giant clear helmet on his head, basically like a clear plastic like astronaut's helmet. The announce crew calls him ridiculous and reminds us that Jericho is trying to protect himself from Ultimo Dragon's red mist. Jericho keeps pointing to his head as he comes down the aisle, reminding everybody how smart he is. His opponent tonight is Bobby Eaton, who's waiting for him in the ring.
Beautiful one.
I love Bobby Eaton. Eaton is going to shine Jericho up nicely here. Jericho is going to at first refuse to remove either the Cruiserweight title or his helmet, but the ref is going to insist, and he's going to wind up removing both. The match is going to be brief, but Eaton is going to look great putting Chris over. He was so damn good in the ring, dude. His Alabama Jam, his finisher, the top rope guillotine, super innovative for its day, and he just always nailed it perfectly. Like Bobby Eaton was always in the right spot at the right time. Just an underrated worker.
Picture perfect, Bobby.
I just think like his look and his dumb haircut kind of might have hindered him in like 1998, but like I can't put over enough. Like go watch some of his stuff from like Smoky Mountain, working with Cornette. What were they called? The Midnight Express. Yes. Really great tag team, great worker.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so for the end of the match, Jericho's going to be laid out for Eaton's Alabama Jam, but he's going to get up as Eaton is going airborne, catch his legs, and lock him in the Lion Tamer for the win.
Oh my.
After the match, Jericho is going to immediately put his belt and helmet back on as Mean Gene makes his way to the ring to talk to him.
Chris Jericho, a big victory for you here tonight, and looks like you're prepared for your upcoming title bout against Ultimo Dragon.
Jericho tries talking into the mic, but you can't hear a word he's saying underneath his dumb helmet.
Chris, I can't hear you.
Jericho keeps talking.
Mr. Jericho, I just don't know.
Chris still keeps talking.
Chris Jericho, you take that ridiculous thing off right now.
Jericho jumps at Gene yelling, and he removes the helmet. Fine, Gene, but if I get the red mist, you'll have hell to pay. As I was saying, all these Jerichoholics here in this arena and at home know that I'm the smartest man in the company. It was just a matter of time before I got out ahead of this dragon guy and his stupid red mist. But right now, I want to speak to you, J.J. Dillon. I know you're backstage contributing to the company about as much as a potted plant, but maybe you can make yourself of some use. That red mist should be treated as a foreign object and should not be allowed in my match with that stupid jerk Ultimo Dragon. I want it banned from the match, and I want him to be fined and disqualified if he uses it on me. J.J. Dillon comes out from the back with a mic of his own. You want to be J.J.?
No, I don't have his dialogue with me. So you go ahead. You did a good job as JJ last time anyway.
Thanks, man. Chris, listen, settle down. You have a point, okay? Using the red mist does give Ultimo Dragon an unfair advantage, and it should be taken into consideration for his match against you at Spring Stampede. The crowd boos, and Chris gives an over-the-top little celebration in the ring before getting back on the mic. Finally, you see some sense. Thanks, JJ. I'm glad you see things my way. Well, hold on a second now, JJ says. It would be an unfair advantage, except I just made a little change to the match. At Spring Stampede, your Cruiserweight title match against Ultimo Dragon is going to be no disqualification. Jericho flips out. I thought you'd like that. Enjoy the rest of your night, Chris. Jericho is having a huge tantrum in the ring. He takes the mic from Gene and throws it on the ground and takes his own helmet and throws it outside the ring. When he finally settles down, he gets outside of the ring to grab his helmet. Behind him, Ultimo Dragon emerges from under the ring. Chris is holding the helmet above his head and is about to put it on, but when he turns, he gets red misted by the dragon to a monstrous pop. We head to a break.
So, Marcus, this is an aside. Us being from Pittsburgh, we go to a show, KSWA. It hasn't happened since the pandemic. But there's a wrestler who worked for WCW, DeAngelo.
Yeah.
Used him on this.
Yeah, I've used him as an enhancement talent for Hall and Nash.
Well, now he's got he kind of just embraces who he is as a person. It has this biker kind of gimmick going on. But something that he accrued was throughout this time was something called Nacho City, a playoff of Brock Lesnar's Suplex City, but it's where he takes nachos and hits his opponent with it. So very much to this Red Mist kind of vibe going down there.
It's kind of like it has to happen, right? If we bring up the Red Mist, Jericho has to get Red Misted now.
It's like Spinal Tap where every drummer dies.
Right, exactly. It has to happen.
It's got to happen.
All right, guys, we're nearing the end of the show. When we return, we find Scott Steiner backstage searching rooms. He passes Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff in the hallway. I added Paul Orndorff after I learned about his passing today. So
nice.
I just wanted him to make a little cameo since he was in the company. And he asks him, "Hey, old timer, have you seen Sting anywhere around here?" Orndorff replies, "I might be past my prime, but I still have enough left in the tank to whip you, kid, so watch your mouth with me." Steiner turns and keeps walking, checking doors in the hallway. When he comes to a door that's locked, he starts pulling on it and shouting, "Sting, I know you're in there! Open up and face me like a man, or I'll bust the door down and come and get you myself." The door lock clicks open, and Steiner gets into a fighting stance, but out comes Lex Luger like a ball of fire. He starts beating Steiner's ass, and when Steiner goes to pick up a folding chair to defend himself, Luger punches it back into his face and knocks him out cold before leaving him laying.
Oh.
If you remember, Scott Steiner attacked Lex Luger last week when Luger was being complimented on his physique.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
A little envious.
A little one-up right there. Mm-hmm. All right, so next up we have the match that was set last week between Eddie Guerrero and the British Bulldog. Bulldog comes out first, and the announcers remind us that this is a massive grudge match for him after Guerrero injured Bret Hart last week by hitting him with a car. Allegedly, Heenan reminds us, because Heenan is a fucking heel, Dominic.
Well, he's not against Hogan. He's always against Hogan.
He's supposed to stick up for the heels. He's the heel announcer.
No, he always went against Hogan, too.
I know, but now he likes Hogan.
No, that's not true, Marcus. It's not true. Even when he turned heel, he embraced I told you so. I told you all that.
Hey, I'm just trying to make sense, Dom.
You're not making sense by doing this.
Heels and baby faces, Dom.
Yeah, well, Bobby Heenan, that was one exception, Marcus.
Shut up. Eddie is out next, and you guessed it. His nephew Chavo is there with him. The two saunter to the ring, and this one is off and running. I'm going to give this match a really big segment. I mean, both guys are really good, capable performers. I'm not sure if they actually ever had a match, Bulldog and Eddie, but I imagine it would be a hell of a match.
Yeah, right. It's an interesting combo to it.
Yeah. Sure. I'm gonna have this match last long enough that it runs through one commercial, and we're gonna see basically all the offense that both these guys have to offer. Chavo won't interfere until the end, where he'll grab Bulldog's ankle, but instead of simply being distracted, Bulldog is gonna get out of the ring and actually start taking it to Chavo with a huge crowd reaction. Bulldog is gonna hoist him up on the outside and hit his running power slam on the mat outside the ring, and the crowd's gonna go nuts. I feel like that would be a fun visual. Bulldog hitting that power slam out there.
Yeah.
When Bulldog gets back into the ring, Eddie tries to jump him, but Davey ducks his attack and goes to work on him. Eddie does his classic get down on his knees and try to beg off, and when the Bulldog pulls him up to his feet, Eddie rakes his eyes. Eddie hits Bulldog with the Three Amigos and goes up top for a frog splash and the semi-clean victory. Wow. Right then and there. The announcers put over the fact that they must admit Eddie looked good against an opponent who outmatched him in size. Eddie is so busy celebrating that he just completely ignores his down nephew and just goes to the back with his arms up in the air. All right. Up next on, we find ourselves backstage again, and this time we find Brian Clark walking around outside a loading dock area. He's continuously shouting Sting's name as he walks around and manhandling any arena staff that gets in his path. Out of nowhere, though, Dominic, Goldberg is going to come in from off screen and drill Clark with a spear into a pile of cardboard boxes. We head to commercial with Goldberg now standing over Clark in much the same way as Clark stood over him earlier in the night.
How about that?
So he's like, "You're not going to one-up me, pal."
And you know what? It's all these WCW guys kind of getting the better of the NWO at this moment.
Which we don't get to see very often.
No.
When we return, Hogan's music hits Voodoo Child. And he's on his way to the ring with Sid. They both appear to be fuming by the time they actually reach the ring, and Hogan gets a mic. Oh, you don't have this. I was going to let you do it. Never mind.
I don't have any of this dialogue.
That coward Sting lied to us and lied to all you people here. He isn't in the building, brother. We searched it from top to bottom, and he's nowhere to be found. Sting, you've proven again that you're not half the man that Hollywood Hogan or Sid are, dude. Just then, Dominic, the lights go out, and the crowd goes nuts.
And the child starts speaking.
Believe me, to be honest, I really did think about that. And I was like, no, it's too hokey. I can't do it here. I can't have Eric Bischoff's son cut a promo. A single spotlight hits the Nitro stage, and there's Sting, and he's got Bischoff still tied to the chair. Sting shoves the swivel-wheeled chair down the ramp, where it rolls halfway down before toppling over. The lights go out again, and when they come back on, Sting is now in the ring with Sid and Hogan, and he has a bat. He goes off on the two NWO members, beating them both down with his bat. Norton and Adams both come limping out to try to make the save, but by the time they get to the ring, Sting has already hooked up his harness to the cable which dropped from the rafters. We go off the air with Sting flying out of the arena.
Wow.
That is it.
It's a good one, man.
Thank you.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
Stinger's getting some friends.
Mm-hmm. And Sting is one up in the NWO, getting his heat back.
Yeah. No DDP this week, huh?
Nesha feels that we should have the hobby horse for Chavo. Pepe. DDP did a run-in during the opener, Dom.
Oh, you're right. They didn't have him on the mic, though.
No DDP on the mic this week. We'll give him a break.
Hey, you know what? What's the deal with Project Runway here?
Oh, their Runway royalty, Dominic?
Yeah, Project Runway?
We just need more tag teams in the division, which we'll get. It's actually part of a storyline I was building here tonight.
Oh,
so suck on that.
Okay. Yeah, they're jobber team anyways. A little bit of wrestle crap going on.
Well, I disagree strongly. Nesha says she misses Chavo. I would love it if Chavo came into AEW, even just for like a battle royal or something.
Oh man, how great would it be if he went to any of these promotions?
Dom, let me tell you something that I was thinking about today, and I was like, oh, that would be perfect. So I saw a picture of Savio Vega with Razor Ramon, and Savio Vega had the Puerto Rican flag with him. Yeah. And I was like, how sweet would it be if he started managing Proud and Powerful?
Ooh, that would be cool.
And also he can still go. He can still wrestle. So it's like he could jump in there every once in a while with him.
The dude has kendo stick moves like no other.
I'm just saying it'd be cool.
Yeah, Savio's awesome. Yeah, that'd be very cool. Cool. Let's see. Anything else we got to address here, Mark? That was a good show.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Nate says he likes that spot with the Bulldog where he does a military press into drop on the ropes, which I always thought was cool too. I think he'd press the guy and like basically drop him onto the ropes and the guy would bounce up over. Yeah, it was always really cool.
Yeah.
Alwande, he didn't know. I think he's referring to Mr. Wonderful. He didn't know him, but he pays tribute to him. Yeah, we all do. You know, it's really sad to hear about this. I say it a lot on this podcast and our other podcast, which is Two Dynamite Dudes with Attitude, right here on WrestleZone.
Yep.
I say it a lot, but you know, wrestling to me, it's kind of like a community. You know, it's like when we see other wrestling fans, or I see a guy out, you know, at the mall or whatever, and he's wearing a wrestling T-shirt. I'm just like, oh, awesome! Like this guy, he's into the same shit I'm into. You know what I mean? And so we're all kind of like a community, and I include the talent in that community too. So like when we lose somebody like who's such an icon, like Mr. Wonderful, it's hard, man. Yeah,
it's really hard. You see the reaction he got online. It's like everybody from Triple H to WWE to AEW to Les Thatcher, Mick Foley, so many talents today just paid a little bit of a tribute to him, and it's it's a bummer. You know,
Nate saying I'm like Mick Foley with the cheap pop there, plugging Two Dynamite Dudes. I'm guessing that's what he's referring to. Yeah, dude, I'm
dozens and dozens of listeners.
I am a shameless shill. Just ask my good close personal friend Eddie Kingston.
Well, I do have a little bit of an announcement to make. I'm erring on the side of not being an episode of Two Dynamite Dudes this week because I will be away. I'm actually going on vacation. So I don't know if I'll have an opportunity to host the show, but we will see. We will see what happens. Maybe
Yeah, I mean, if you can do it remotely, then great. If not, no big deal. You know, we'll be back strong the next week. I think this will be the first week we missed, right?
I think so.
If we don't do it.
Every time, maybe we missed. I don't know though, Mark, because
anytime I've been unavailable, you jumped in and done
I just
it by
did
yourself.
a solo episode of it. Yeah, yeah, it might be a little tough for me to do, just depending on the circumstances and everything like that. It's not that I don't want to do it, because I do love doing it. It's, anytime I'm seeing like, dang it, even last week, Marcus and I was like, hey, we should maybe do it tonight. Marcus is like, it'll be way too late by the time I'm done. So, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
When are you back from your vacation?
Sunday, I think, at some point. So I could definitely do it.
Let's just do it Sunday.
We could probably do it Sunday, depending on when I get back. Yeah. So
right.
maybe
we could always do a late night one too, from another short one, like 10 to 10:30 or 10 to 11 or whatever.
Something to that effect. Yeah. Well, we could go live, and could be a good way to close out the week. So, yeah. But, we'll put a pin in it for right now, and if just keep your eyes out on WrestleZone.com for any announcements going on with that. So
I will call it a strong probability that we'll do that podcast. And by the way, you can follow this podcast, WCW Rewritten, at WCW Rewritten on the Twitter. You can follow our other podcast, Two Dynamite Dudes with Attitude, at 2 Dynamite Dudes. You can follow me. I'm Marcus DeAngelo. You can follow me at Marcus P. DeAngelo on Twitter. You can follow my slapdick brother over there, Dominic, at Dominic DeAngelo, and follow WrestleZone.com at WrestleZone.com on Twitter. Go to WrestleZone.com for all of your wrestling news needs. Dominic, what else you got, man?
Yeah, usually I like these episodes to be kind of timeless, but we've been addressing some current event stuff. But something that's timeless, not only is this kind of stuff WCW Rewritten, but I would have to say the man behind my shoulder right here, Mr. Henry Winkler, who I got to interview a couple weeks ago regarding his 1978 movie, The One and Only, which is very based around pro wrestling. So give a listen to that. I talked to him for 30 minutes. One of the nicest people I've ever interviewed, and that's saying a lot because there's a lot of nice wrestlers out there, but he was super duper generous with his time, super nice. And he talks about being involved with working and training with guys like Gene LaBelle is who trained him, Judo Gene LaBelle. And then there's some appearances, but Chavo Guerrero, Chavo's dad, was in the movie.
Chavo Sr.
And then Roddy Piper as well. So lots of cool stuff. I really recommend trying to go and watch that movie. You can order it, stream it on Amazon. So is the way to get it. I actually bought the Blu-ray of it because I was
for those of you who don't know, it's he played the Fonz in Happy Days. He was also the coach in The Waterboy. A guy who's had a heck of an acting career. Really cool of him to take the time to talk to Dominic about a wrestling movie he did. Gosh, it was
over 40 years ago now.
Yeah, 43 years ago. Yeah. So just really cool of him to take the time and do that. And yeah, definitely check that out. Dominic, you got anything else you're coming on with?
Just I obviously I was at MLW for the Battle Riot, and right before that I got to interview one of my favorite wrestlers, modern day wrestlers, with Davey Richards, who's back into wrestling. So, and he had a hell of a match against TJP this week, and also participated in the Battle Riot. I won't spoil it for you, but it was a very good match. I know that much, and so. Tune into that when it goes. We'll tune into our interview. We talk that. We talk Battle Riot. We talk music and stuff like that. And he's had such an interesting sabbatical from pro wrestling, because he's not only a wrestler, but he was a paramedic, and he's also a firefighter, and he's going to become a doctor. Like, he's working to become a doctor. So it's like the dude does a whole lot of different stuff, and it's pretty darn cool. Plus, he's got a family too, so he's balancing all that together, spinning a lot of plates, but the American Wolf can get it done. So,
Dom, how was the MLW show at Nashville Wants to Know? Did you enjoy it?
Oh, it was great. Yeah, it was so fun. It's awesome to hear the crowd reaction, like just the live crowd being back, and just some of the matches that went down. I can make note of certain matches that you'll see. Calvin Tankman versus Pittsburgh's very own Lee Moriarty. What a show stealer that was. Holy smokes.
I didn't know Lee Moriarty was from Pittsburgh.
He's from Pittsburgh. And very then cool. There's also TJ, like I said, TJP and Davey Richards was a real good match. There's women's competition going down that you have to tune into because that got really great reaction. Was the women's match.
I would also recommend, as a periphery MLW fan myself, a guy that really drew me in and catches my interest regularly is Alex Hammerstone.
Yes.
He has got probably the best physique in pro wrestling today, and just like a great look, a great personality, an incredible finisher. It's called the Nightmare Pendulum.
You got to check it out.
Even if you don't go and like watch one of his matches, just go type in the Nightmare Pendulum on YouTube. With say Alex Hammerstone Nightmare Pendulum, something like that. It is an unbelievable finish. This guy is awesome. Follow him on Twitter.
At Alex Hammerstone.
At Alex Hammerstone. Yeah, he's a really fun follow.
The DeAngelo Brothers saying.
Yeah, absolutely. He knows Dom, so just a cool guy.
And you know what? He's got one of the best themes in wrestling. It's Queens of the Stone Age. It's awesome. Fires you up. It's and you know what? He's somebody that Marcus really appreciates because he's somebody that protects his finisher too.
Yep. Nobody kicks out of that finish, and I think that's a smart thing to do in wrestling. It's one of the things I love about Kenny Omega too. Nobody kicks out of the one winged angel, and they shouldn't.
That's the way to handle it, man. So yeah, he was, and I tell you what, Philly ate him up. He was over, super over. Also,
he's going to be a major star. Go out of your way to follow him. Huh?
Pun intended.
Yes. But yeah, go out of your way to follow him and check him out. He is for real though. He's going to be a superstar.
Yeah. Oh, Baron Corbin's another one that does that too. Yeah, at the end of days, which is a great finisher too. He makes sure to protect his finisher. Nate mentions that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Jacob Fatu is somebody you got to watch out for.
Oh, Jacob Fatu.
Oh man, what a great match.
I saw the spot actually from that show where he is on the bottom rope in the corner, springs himself up, catches the top rope, and then does a backflip. For a guy his size to do something like that, unbelievable.
Amazing. Everybody's was vying to get him too, but he
WWE, AEW, but he wanted to stick with MLW, and I would say it was a good move.
It was a great move. Yeah. So
Kevin Davis, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us.
How's it going, Kevin? Yeah. So take a look at that. We also have some other interviews up. Oh, shoot, I'm trying to figure out who it was. We got some good stuff. Go to WrestleZone.com and you will find them there. But ROH, we have a lot of good ROH coverage that went down. If you would too like to check out, you can check the spoilers for Battle Riot. If you would like to do that, I give some notes too, reaction notes of what happened during that show. So you can check stuff like that out too. Just go and type in MLW on WrestleZone and you'll find it. It'll pop up there. But yeah, really great show. But yes, we did heavy coverage of ROH and their show, Best in the World. Colin Tessier does a great job doing all things ROH. It's something that makes us really stand out as a website is the coverage we're able to do for like sites for promotions like that and Impact and go all out for that kind of stuff. No pun intended there. But so got some good stuff kicking there on WrestleZone. So
yeah, we got some good podcasts, really strong podcasts here on WrestleZone. So yeah, please continue to follow us. Go ahead and send us messages, questions, anything you guys have in mind, suggestions for this show. I will take good suggestions, and I'm interested to hear the feedback. And more than anything, guys, we just appreciate everybody joining us as always.
It's always a hoot doing this stuff. And this is one of my favorites. I mean, we only do 2 like actual shows on. No, I do 3 shows. I take it back. This is one of my actual favorite shows to do because I just sit here and listen pretty much. So
yeah, and it's fun. It's really rewarding for me to write these, and I can kind of see it coming together in my head. I try to do everybody justice whenever I write a promo and do something that I can hear in their voice. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. We'll do another one.
Yeah, every 2 weeks we're doing this now. So.
Yeah, it'll actually be 13 days because we usually do it on a Sunday.
Yeah, we'll do it on a Sunday. So this was just a special exception for it. So yeah. But hey, Marcus, guess what? We're out of time.
The tape machines are rolling, guys, and we'll see you next time right here on WCW Rewritten on WrestleZone. Thanks, guys.